Hi, you're watching Review Machines, the channel about most interesting machines for work and fun. Today our review is devoted to the newest model of towable backhoe from China, which has come to the market this year. This backhoe is known under different names. They are being sold on Alibaba and distributed to many countries. Towable backhoes are rather popular machines because they are not very expensive, but can work almost so efficiently as self-propelled excavators. I'd like to remind you that we have already done a video about similar backhoe. That model now is out of production. Chinese engineers allegedly improved the backhoe and eliminated many drawbacks of the predecessor, and then presented new model which we will review today. For the most part, new backhoe is almost the same machine we saw on previous review. The construction is well known for us: the engine, oil pump and hydraulic system. There are no any electronic devices and complicated parts, so the machine is very simple and we hope reliable. According to the factory, this time they improved many small details and slightly changed the design. Well, it's okay, but what is interesting for us is how it works on the ground. Now you can see how these machines are supplied from the factory. You know, it might be rather interesting to assemble the backhoe. It's like some kind of Lego toy, but for big boys. But it's strongly recommended to assemble the backhoe by at least 3 people. In this way, it takes about 2 hours to finish the work and prepare the backhoe for digging. Okay, the backhoe is completely assembled and ready for work. Let's get to know its specs. There are several modifications of the machine. We have a model with 2 hydraulic bearings and 2 mechanical ones, which you have to set manually. Now let's have a look at the basic dimensions. You see minimal size, maximum height, maximum length, unloading height, maximum width, and minimal width. This backhoe is one of the most expensive backhoes which are available on Chinese market. Its price is about $5,000, but it's still less than many European and American analogs prices. So we will try to find out about the most important thing, about the quality of the machine and working efficiency. Well, let's look at the main parts of the backhoe. Here we see Chinese petrol engine, 13 HP, it's copy of Honda GX, but only time may show if it's so reliable as Honda. The machine is equipped with new oil pump, which is directly connected to the engine, so we don't see here any belts, which as you know are not very reliable. Hydraulic bearings are very useful for work on rough terrain, and the roof can protect you from the sun and rain. Operator's seat is not bad, but unfortunately we don't see here any armrest and it slightly irritates. There are 2 levers for the boom and 2 for bearings on the control panel. Also here we see an ignition key. No, it's not a parking brake as you can think, it's a throttle lever. Some hydraulic hoses of the cylinders are made of steel, it's a very good feature. But unfortunately there are many usual rubber hoses which easily may be damaged during digging process. There are 2 positions of the wheels. This one is used for the towing and this position is used for work. Now we can see how operate the backhoe. I should say the steering is very simple. 2 small levers control the bearings and 2 others control the boom. Well, the control is really simple, but certainly it will take some time to get the hang of it. At first time you are unlikely to avoid wrong manipulations and jerks, but it's just a matter of practice and soon you will be able to dig. As any towable backhoe, this machine can be towed by any vehicle, ATV, loader and so on. You can connect lights of the backhoe to vehicle socket and tow the backhoe at any roads. At work you can move the backhoe by its boom. Of course it may seem very awkward and slow way of moving. But after some time of practice you will learn to move rather swiftly and turn around. Besides, this method has an advantage, it doesn't depend on the ground condition. In this way you can get any place you want. Well, that was very interesting, but the main thing in our story, how this backhoe can dig, it's high time to try. We will conduct our test on a heavy soil with ruins of old foundation in it. That is why we chose the narrowest bucket. But backhoe managed to dig this soil without big efforts. So I think it's possible to install wider bucket for this ground. By the way, the backhoe comes complete with 3 different buckets, leveler and splinter bucket. In this way the range of use of the machine is rather wide. Well, the only problem we met there was that the soil remained in the bucket and it was difficult to unload it, but it's a common problem for all narrow buckets. You may solve it by greasing inside the bucket with some diesel or kerosene fuel. It will prevent soil from sticking. In conclusion, I should say that I think this backhoe may be one of the best Chinese machines of this kind. But I can suggest it only on the ground of this test, and certainly the main thing here, how the backhoe will work in future. At the first glance everything seems to be rather durable, but unfortunately you never can be sure about the quality of Chinese metal. I hope my review will be useful for you, thanks for watching, subscribe my channel, there will be many more interesting materials, goodbye.